All right, it is 5:33 on August 26th. Turn my mic on here. It's 5:33 on August 26th, 2025. I'm going to call this meeting of the Morton County Commission, regular meeting, to order. First item of business will be the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will do a roll call. Commissioner Morrell? Here. Commissioner Buckley?
Yes.
Commissioner Zachmeyer?
Yes.
And myself, Commissioner Boehm. Commissioner Tokash is absent tonight. We have Auditor Roan up here at the front desk, State's Attorney Copy, and Sheriff Kirkmeyer in the back of the room. Next item of business will be the approval of the agenda for this evening.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve the agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda as presented. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Next, we'll have the approval of the minutes of the previous meeting of August 7th, which was the Morton County Commission regular meeting.
Mr. Chairman, move to approve the minutes.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from the August 7th, 2025 meeting of the Morton County Commission. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Monthly bills and payroll. It says my name. I should have changed that. Commissioner Morrell filled in for me today because I was busy.
The bills are all in order. Make a motion to approve the bills and payroll for this period.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the bills for this period. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, do a roll call vote. Commissioner Morrell?
Yes.
Commissioner Buckley?
Yes.
Commissioner Zachmeyer?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Motion passes. All right. With that, we're going to move right into our agenda. Madison Cermak with Business Development and Communications for Mandan. I think she has Jim assisting.
Brought Jim for assistance. That's all.
Sorry.
Perfect. So, like you said, I am Madison Cermak. I'm the Business Development Director at the City of Mandan. So I'm going to do a brief presentation of the Mandan's Renaissance Zone program, types of projects we've completed, benefits of those completed projects, some legislative changes, and then to ask for your continued support from county. And just a FYI, I am 78 months pregnant, so just gotta give me a break for a little bit. All right. So the Mandan Renaissance Zone program was established in 2005. The program itself was established in 1999, but with the diesel spill, it took a couple more years to get our program established. It's a tool to help cities revitalize communities, mostly aimed downtown areas, and that's by offering both state and local tax incentives for 5 years. Both residents and business owners are provided with incentive to invest in the community. So far, we've had 97 projects completed with over $30 million in private investment. On average, the cost of the property tax incentive for Renaissance Zone projects is recouped within 2 years and 3 months after the property re-enters the tax rolls. The 5-year incentive does not begin until project is approved by the city and state. And then once construction begins, the Mandan Renaissance Zone policy has a 1-year timeline with extensions to be granted. So the Mandan Renaissance Zone consists of 37 physical blocks along Main Street in the downtown area, including both commercial and residential properties. 6 half blocks of federally exempted government-owned buildings, and that reduces the total count to 34 blocks. So state criteria for determining the amount of blocks per community, they have a starting minimum of 34 blocks with population of, with 5,000 in population, and then one block may be added per additional 5,000 people in population. So Mandan can now have up to 39 blocks. There are 399 total properties in the Mandan Renaissance Zone boundary, including 180 commercial, 192 residential, and 27 exempt. In 2020, the Mandan Renaissance Zone Committee added 2-block contiguous area. This is also known as the island on Memorial Highway. This area was determined at the time by different studies and surveys as a potential for redevelopment by having a tool to give property owners an additional boost to generate projects. Current Renaissance Zone Committee still feels this area has potential after Memorial Highway is reconstructed. And if no activity or desire for redevelopment by majority of property owners on the island, the committee can possibly remove that island and place it elsewhere with approval. So next we have the types of completed projects from 2005 to present. As you can see, the most popular is the commercial rehab projects. In order to receive that full 100% incentive, an applicant must reinvest at least 50% of what the building's value currently is, with 80% of that investment being in capital improvements. So example of this is if a building's true value is $450,000, the minimum of $225,000 of investment with $180,000 in capital improvements the applicant must put into it to receive that full benefit. Property owners will still pay land value and special assessment, Property owners will still pay land value and any special assessments to a property as well. So this is our most recent and completed Renaissance Zone project. You probably have seen this at 1121 East Main Street. It's Dakota Customs, and this was a rehab and lease project. Midwest Rentals LLC purchased and rehabbed the building, and Dakota Customs was able to retain business in Mandan. The beginning assessed value of this building was $295,000. The property owner's actual private investment into the building, as completed, is over $2 million. Other community benefits from projects include generating sales tax revenue, adding new jobs, and providing additional products and services to the community. Okay, and then here's some data and analytics from the Renaissance Zone. The graph shows the yearly beginning assessed values, the blue bar, versus the new assessed values on completed projects, the orange bar, from 2005 to present. The value of beginning assessments on projects from 2005 to present totaled to $9.9 million. And the value of new assessments on completed projects from 2005 to 2024 increased to a total of $28.6 million. The average new assessed property value increased by approximately 109% from 2005 to 2024. And an example I like to talk about is the Capital Credit Union building. It was a new build project in 2011. It was a beginning assessment before the demo was $117,000, with previous taxes on the building around $1,950. And now we're looking at the current 2024 true and full value of the building is now worth over $2 million, with taxes by district total with over $33,000. So Morton County is getting a little over $6,000 from that. So during the North Dakota 68th Legislative Assembly, adjustments to the Renaissance Zone incentives were made, including the Renaissance Zone extensions may be granted up to 10 years. Previously, extensions were capped at 5 years. The Mandan Renaissance Zone Committee recommended to update the extensions from 5 to 10 years. Future recommendations may include to opt to have 2 islands to the primary contiguous zone. And one of the islands they're looking at could be the old high school site as a potential island. Other adjustments included with no action made were eligible projects may now receive up to 8 taxable years of Renaissance Zone benefits instead of 5 years. The Renaissance Zone Committee did not feel this recommendation was necessary at this time. So next steps, our current program plan expires August 31st, 2025. So in a couple of days, we are seeking a 10-year program extension, And the requirements before expiration from state law is letters of support from the other taxing entities, county, schools, and parks. We receive school approval on August 5th and parks approval on August 11th. We held a public hearing on August 4th at the City Commission with no feedback. And the Renaissance Zone Committee in the City of Mandan hope for the continued support from the Morton County Commission. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to try to answer them. And then we have a little for more information up on top there too.
Commissioners, have any questions for Madison?
Mr. Chair, not so much a question, just more some additional comments is, again, as a builder, I've used the Renaissance Zone in Mandan and in Bismarck, and it's a wonderful resource if you're specifically trying to repurpose a building and add value not only for the business itself, but also for the jurisdiction that you're located in. So I know there's some misconceptions. I know there's some misunderstandings as far as what the Renaissance Zone opportunities are for the layperson. I would definitely invite those people to learn what the Renaissance Zone is. They may still form their own opinion, but understand what the Renaissance Zone is, what its benefit has become to the city of Mandan, particularly with it, the ability to redevelop struggling areas. And enhancing the visitor traffic, enhancing the beautification. So I know the program, I've used the program, I support the program.
Are there any other comments or questions? Nope. Commissioner Zachmeyer? Okay, I support the program also from being on the Bismarck Mandan Chamber EDC committee. I've seen a lot of the different things that have happened through there, so the program is good. I'm glad they extended it and brought it back with the legislators. So
I wasn't aware of the island opportunity. That's
something that was different.
That's a nice approach.
Yep, and that can be obviously a lot of more committee meetings to try to focus on where the best opportunity would be for that island as well.
Yep. Okay. Commissioners have any motion or?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that Morton County provides a letter of support to the additional 10-year extension of the Mandan Renaissance Zone program.
Second.
All right, it's been moved to provide the Morton County Commission to provide a letter of support to the Mandan Renaissance Zone in the 10-year extension. And seconded. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Madison. Now you can go sit down.
Appreciate it.
And if, like Jim, like we said, if you want to send over a Word document to Dawn,
Yep,
we'll get it on there. Just change that one date in there so that it's correct.
We'll get that over in a few minutes.
Sounds good. Thank you. And then I'll sign it when we get a chance. All right, next on the agenda, Matt Shannondor with the Mandan Progress Organization. One of these days, I'm going to get you to come out and help at the fair too with your wife.
I plan on it. I always have to watch the other kids, though.
Oh, I know.
Well, thank you, Chairman and Commissioners, for having me here this evening to just discuss the Mandan Progress Organization's request from Morton County for funding support for fiscal year 2026. Our request is $15,000 in 2026, and really the basis of that is to really just continue to provide the support for the momentum that we've been seeing over the last couple of years with the Mandan Progress Organization in terms of marketing both the City of Mandan and Morton County as a destination, as well as connecting the different communities in the Morton County area with the city of Mandan and what we're doing on a kind of a greater level of marketing and promotion. In fiscal year 2025, we used part of the Morton County funding to, in partnership with the City of Mandan MPO, to purchase a full-page ad in the 2025 North Dakota Tourism Guide for Visit Mandan, to highlight both the events in Mandan, draw them to the website, as well as highlight the smaller communities on that particular advertisement that was in the travel guide. We saw a lot of good traffic from that to the Visit Mandan website, as well as people coming to the different events and whatnot, and searching what's going on in and around the area of Mandan and Morton County. So in 26, we hope to continue that full page ad in the North Dakota Tourism Guide for Visit Mandan and Morton County. We want to continue to build out visitmandan.com as a portal for not only Mandan, but for the smaller communities in and around the Morton County area, driving traffic to a more concise marketing and placement for people to find what's happening in and around the county. We have had meetings this summer with the city leaders of Glen Ullin and Hebron, talking to them about their connections and events that they have, and giving them kind of direction on how to get those events to us, and so we can get them placed on the Visit Mandan website, as well as promoted through both our Visit Mandan Facebook page as well as Morton County. And so we've been talking with them, the smaller city papers, and connecting with them as well, so when they have events that they can get that to us, and we can kind of create this one-shop kind of destination, online destination, to find information on those events. In terms of our events, so far in 2025 have been really well received, both May, June, and July, with Touch Truck, Buggies and Blues, and the 4th of July Parade. Obviously challenges with the new and upcoming events, and just the type of society we live in. Costs have kind of gone up with both traffic services as well as security services for these larger events. We are making some new investments in this year in the Mandan Holiday Lights on Main. We're bringing in a military tribute Christmas tree display that's being funded locally here, and that will be on display. It's a 25-foot Christmas tree, and it will also have insignias on the 6 different U.S. military branches, as well as the North Dakota National Guard will be featured on it. And then we're working with the Farmers Heritage Tractor as well, coming in for the portion of the park. So it's a $125,000 investment funded through community sponsorships, as well as the MPO, for those 2 new displays. In 2026, we're doing a few new things. We're partnering with Fort Abraham Lincoln State Park on a Hike a Marathon in the Park challenge. So we're re-envisioning the 12-month 12 Hike Challenge, which was done at Fort Lincoln State Park from 2015 to 2020, before it went statewide in 2021, and is still continued to be a statewide program that North Dakota Parks puts on. So we're looking at doing Hike a Marathon on the trails at Fort Abraham Lincoln in 2026, and that'll be a monthly hiking program that we'll partner with Fort Abraham Lincoln on, to bring people into Morton County, out to the state park, and experience some of the recreational trails that they have out there. Planning has already begun on the 250th 4th of July celebrations in Mandan. Obviously the parade, road race, Art in the Park are on the docket for next year. We are in the early stages of planning a fireworks display that will be on July 3rd here in Mandan as well. So we're working on that, and that's in the early stages of planning. In 2026, we will also be, the MPO board voted this month to accept the transfer of the Old Red, Old 10 Scenic Byway marketing program to the MPO and Visit Mandan. So in 2026, we will take over that program and continue to market that. That has seen a little bit of just a fallback on membership and involvement from the local communities, and so we feel that that fits into the Visit Mandan branding, as well as with the tourism branding, to bring people down Old 10, Old Red, to the smaller communities. And that was some of our discussions we had with the leaders of Glen Ullin and Hebron in July. And so that will take place closer to 2026, and we'll begin moving that program out into the Visit Mandan kind of website, as well as marketing that through our channels that we have to draw people into that Old 10 Scenic Byway, taking that way to Dickinson. Our plans in 2026 to meet with Dickinson CVB to talk about joint efforts to continue that marketing program, because it does go into Stark County as well. A little bit about 2024, kind of leading into this year, we had estimated about 170,000 visitors that attended our events throughout 2024. The Mandan Holiday Lights on Main had about 60,000 attendees last season, and we are hoping to see that again in this next holiday season. These events draw a lot of people into the community, brings real value by community engagement, but also contributing to local sales tax revenue as people are in and around the communities visiting our local businesses. Moving forward, as I mentioned before, as we grow these events and as we expand these events, we have been seeing some additional costs, not only expanding our staffing within the MPO. We're now at 5 full-time staff to handle marketing and logistics and operations, but our contract services for traffic control, security, and marketing, both cash and trade, have begun to increase. We've also been offsetting that with some partnerships through our community heroes. Right now, if you have been watching North Dakota Today on Wednesday mornings, we have the new Mandan Current, which is a segment to promote the events and stuff that are happening in and around the Mandan and Morton County area. That airs every Wednesday, every Wednesday morning. That's cultivated by us in a partnership with KFYR TV, and so that will continue from June. It started in June. It will go all the way through December, and we not only highlight Mandan stuff, events, but we also highlight some of the Morton County things as well. We had a segment on the Morton County Fair. We're talking about the Glow Hike tomorrow. That's happening this weekend at Fort Abraham Lincoln State Park. But it's just another way for us to get out into the public eye to really promote Mandan and Morton County. But that's kind of what I have for an update for 2025 and where we're going. We still have a lot of 2025 ahead of us, so we're looking forward to that. But I'd be open to answering any questions or any discussions you guys have.
As I mentioned, as with Madison, sitting on the Chamber EDC committee, I hear what they're trying to do over there to draw people to some events that direction. And it always is comparing it to our parade, our holiday lights, and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And Bismarck's trying to figure out a way to get some of that back, because they normally want to drive over here, but for those things they will.
Yes.
And so that's really nice. So, commissioners have any questions for Matt or comments?
I guess I'm really glad to see that you're expanding or looking at expansion of the Holiday on Lights. I mean, and I think you have to do that in order to keep the public to keep coming, keep them coming over here.
Yes.
And so I think that's a good idea.
Mr. Chair, I got a question for Matt, and he and I talked about this. I'm just going to ask the question so the public can understand what it is. But you referenced the moniker Visit Mandan. What does that mean for Mandan and Morton County?
Visit Mandan, I mean, we went through the branding of it. Mandan is obviously the more recognizable name in and around the Bismarck-Mandan area. And so when the traveling public's traveling through, oftentimes they're not given the specific information to find a specific website or a specific location. So if it's a smaller town website, or if it's a county, if they're not as familiar with it, particularly traveling public, it's not as easy to find in just a quick web domain search. So taking the kind of the recognizable name of a community and putting it out there in front as a visit is the call to action. Mandan is kind of the location. And so when we look at both visitmandan.com, it's bringing them to a one-stop shop. And then our tagline is Visit Mandan, finding your destination in Mandan, City of Mandan, Morton County. And so by putting that out there and pushing out the Morton County side of it, we can draw people in. And we have different segments on there, both the Experience Mandan as well as Morton County. Our front page, we can put the new events that are going on. So when the Morton County Fair was going on, we had a banner on the top that had the county fair. People could click on it. And we are seeing spikes in traffic when we do that. People are seeing that, and it's directing too. So if you're going to your analytics on the domain pages for the Morton County Fair, you're going to probably see Visit Mandan as being a leader into that, a feeder into that. It is getting more traffic. We saw a 750% increase in late June and July, and obviously for 4th of July. The rodeo, we talked to them, we were the second highest feeder site to the Mandan Rodeo site off of just a Google search. And so people are going to visit Mandan and then going to finding what they're doing. The biggest lift that we have in the next year or so is really getting connected with these small towns, New Salem, Glen Olin, and really talking to them about what their needs are in terms of a marketing perspective. When you do kind of an analysis of it, you know, they've got various versions from a Facebook page to a simple website to maybe it's the government site for more services in the community, but it's not highlighting the kind of the tourism visitation and what's happening in and around those communities. And if we can get that kind of lined up, we can get that stuff onto the Visit Mandan site and really utilize that tool as a great marketing effort. And as we see the presidential library open up next year, we're really going to kind of see that traffic increase, and it'd be I'm excited to kind of see how we can get people off the interstate to stop into some of these small towns and check out the local restaurants and the local coffee shops and check out what the unique sites are. We have the pages on our site. If you go to the Experience Mandan, you'll see the listing of the other towns in Morton County. And right now it just links to something. So
Yeah.
we're trying to get that information. And a lot of it right now is finding that champion in those communities that is able to give us that information and sit down with us. And we're starting to figure that out. We've got connections now with Glen Olin. They're sending us information. If you go on now, you'll see the upcoming events that are happening in Glen Olin here in September, and we'll be highlighting those on Visit Mandan's Facebook page. So we're starting to get that a little bit. And it also connects right into our Visit Mandan app, because those same events are in the large master calendar at mylocalevents.org. And so they're in there as well. So the Mandan City app, which just launched in July, integrates Visit Mandan into it as a tab. And so you can get right onto the Visit Mandan website and then go into what's happening in Morton County. And those same events are being highlighted on the calendar there. So it's all connected. It's just how do we get people to the right spot?
And those small towns do have websites, but some of them don't give you a whole lot.
No, they don't.
They need some help. I was going to ask you, you said moving forward, your security staffing and your traffic controls and those costs are going up. Are you using some outside services to help out, or is it all local?
We're partnered right now with Traffic Safety Services for our traffic services that we need. One of the things that we've been doing and has increased is obviously the parade is one of the ones that we have to close a major interstate and exit into Mandan. All of our events now, though, we are doing messaging on all of the arteries that are feeding into downtown Mandan to really message out that Main Street's closed, or a portion of Main Street's closed, and so that agricultural traffic, that industry traffic that's coming down and typically would use Main Street can then take a different path, whether it's 19th Avenue across or go up north by the truck stop and go out to the interstate. So those are on all the highways as well as the main arteries of 6th Avenue and Collins as they come down. And so that's on every event now. So every time we close Main Street, that takes place just to help communicate the closure that's in downtown. So you're seeing that increase. On the security side of it, it's doing our due diligence when we have large crowds and big events, particularly the parade and Buggies and Blues, that we have a hired, not only we have the police presence, obviously, but we also have a hired security presence that's more prevalent and more active in and around the areas.
I was just asking because I know County Fair spends a lot of money on security.
Yeah.
And they're not local.
Yeah, we're using a local security. Spartan Security Solutions is our local provider.
Okay. Any other questions or comments for Matt? Don't see any. Thank you, Matt,
All right,
for the
thank you.
presentation. So what did we have in the budget for them, Don? Is that what was in there?
No, we don't have that much in there.
Not quite.
Whatever was last year.
I don't-
5, I think. Because
I was just
I
curious.
never got his email because there was an issue and I had lots of email going to junk mail. I didn't know it.
So it wasn't his fault.
No, he sent an email that I never saw it and he never followed up when I never responded to him, so. We have 9.5 in there. That's what we've been having the last couple of years, is 9.500.
Okay, so that's something we'll have to look at as we get into the final budget. I know where I can get it. All right, moving forward, Dennis Meyer.
Good evening, Chairman Bain, Morton County Commission, Auditor Roan. Did everybody have a chance to review the Three Rivers Human Service Zone 2026 budget and operating
Yep, did.
spreadsheets? Questions? Do you want me to go through it, or are there any questions about?
I didn't have any questions. I don't know if anybody else did, but I was good.
Some of that.
Everything made sense to me.
Yeah.
It hasn't had a whole lot
If you look at the operating costs and how they're down from 2025, yeah, a lot of that has to do with some of the programs or the costs the state taken on, such as shelter care, no longer is a bill, and child care is no longer a bill for the zone. They have taken that on for all the zones across the state. And then you'll see that our salary line item from the recalc in 2025 to 2026 is less. It's because last year for some reason we were inflated with that line item and we brought it down to the reasonable amount. So it's a little confusing if you look at it and consider salary increases. It doesn't make sense, but we were really inflated last year for
Okay.
whatever reason, so. And then you can see that we generate revenue, 40,000 through targeted case management. So with the deduction of that, our budget is 5,037,000, which isn't a whole lot different than last year,
No.
just with all the deductions and the state taking on some of the programming.
Jackie?
Well, I guess as serving on the board, we still continue to struggle having to pay high costs for housing some of our foster children
Yeah.
at many different locations. And if you want to visit about that a little bit, Dennis?
Yeah, on occasion, we'll have, there's an entity that approves Medicaid, or it approves foster care and Medicaid placements. It's called Maximus. And when a child has max benefits in a facility such as Home on the Range, and the child has to be out by a certain date, the debt, if they're at the end of the month, the 30th of the month, the payment ends, the child has to be moved. But we don't always have a placement for some of these children that are more challenging, more difficult to place. And so finding a less restrictive environment isn't always that easy. And we've had to pay a facility such as Home on the Range to keep that child. And it won't be paid for through foster care through the state of North Dakota, but it'll be paid out of our budget until we find another placement. And a lot of those placements are, $1,500, $2,000 a day. So it's a huge expense when we have those types of kids, or when we have those situations where we end up paying because foster care will no longer pay. And we've also had a situation where we weren't able to get the case into court the month in which the court order expired. So when there's a lapse in the order, we end up paying, or if the order's not federally compliant, we end up paying until it is out of our budget. So, and those are, again, like Jackie said, it's very expensive. And we've also, in the last few months, we've had to do some hoteling of children in our office for days at a time. We've gotten really lucky compared to other zones our size, because we're the 6th, 7th largest zone in the state, and we've done pretty well finding placement for the challenging to place children versus other zones have struggled. So we've done really well, or gotten really lucky to not have to do a lot of hoteling.
I guess we've also been able to keep our staff. I mean, it's been better. I guess
Yeah.
I'll say we're fully staffed, I'll say, pretty
well,
much.
We have an open EW position.
Yeah.
It's advertised right now, and we're waiting for a background check for an admin position down in Carson. We're just waiting for the background check. It has to be fingerprint background checks for eligibility, so.
Okay.
And then we'll be fully staffed. But again, that's been a struggle for zones across the state for the last 5 years, is just, recruiting, then retaining.
Right.
Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman, what's the Morton County's portion of the 5 million for total request?
None.
None.
None of it?
It's all state funded.
It's all state.
Okay.
This is all direct costs. Indirect costs is different, but that's a different topic.
But the indirect costs have to be part of this budget too.
No.
Not here. That comes separately. That's a separate.
That's, indirect costs are not in this budget. Indirect costs are costs that it takes the auditor's office to pay their bills, and so that's, indirect costs are calculated in an indirect cost plan, and then the general fund receives payment for the indirect cost reimbursement.
Follow that? Okay. I think I did. Any other questions? Commissioner Morrell? I think you're the only one left down there. Commissioner Zachmeyer? Okay. Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you.
Make it
Thank you,
easy on
Dennis.
you. Oh, Mr. LaFleur, we are up for some abatements.
Yeah, just got a few of them for you tonight. So the first ones up are homestead abatements from the city of Mandan. There are 5 of them. They're abatements 7133 through 7136. I lumped them all together since they're all for the city of Mandan, but they're for 3 different property owners. One of them for 2024. The next one has 23 and 24, and then the next one also has 23 and 24.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the abatement number 7133, 7134, 7135, 7136, and 7137 for the purposes of homestead tax credit, homestead abatements.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve abatements 7133, 7134, 7135, 7136, and 7137 for tax years 2024 and 23 for homestead abatements. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. Then I have 2 sets of error corrections for the city of Mandan. Like the county, they have zones in the city. They go through all the buildings in those zones. Occasionally, they discover errors that were made, so these are just going back to correct them. So the first one is 7138 through 7140. This is for apartment building at Riverside Development. It is to correct the square footage of that building, which reduced the valuation.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve abatements number 7138 through 7140 to correct square footage error discovered during the zone review.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve abatement 7138, 7139, and 7140 for tax years 2023, 24, and 25 for square footage adjustment during zone review. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, then we have abatement 7141 through 7143, very similar situation. This is for More Grand Sioux, and again, it's to correct the square footage of the building.
Mr. Chair, motion to approve abatement number 7141 through 7143 for correction of data.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve abatement 7141, 7142, and 7143 for tax years 2023 through 25 for square footage adjustment during zone review. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Don. Next, we have John Psyche, sale of used equipment.
Yes, good evening, Commissioners and Auditor Roan. I'm before you this evening to advise that we have a list of equipment that we would like to sell. It is equipment we're no longer using, and a lot of it's been in cold storage. Some of it has been up for sale before. We never received any bids, but we have added a few of these trucks, and there's some opinions around that the shop that we possibly get $1,000 for those, and if any of the items could potentially go over $1,000, then we're required by law to advise the commission. And so with that being said, we presented this list of items, which is in your packet, at the road commission meeting. We went over it, and all the road commissioners agreed that it was wise to, if we can sell this, go ahead. And so I'm here just to present this. As far as just items, we have the plows, the disc mowers, the Falls motor grader wing, Balderson motor grader wing, anything with the plows or the wings, those have been for sale. We've tried selling those before. A lot of them are very old. Some of them go back to the early 80s, some of the early 90s. And one of the reasons that no one's very interested is a lot of people don't have the equipment that this will work on anymore. So we'll see what happens. Been a couple times in the past where we were advertising and stuff that had been advertised 2 or 3 times. Someone wanted it, sold it. So we're going to try that. Since we've been adding to our fleet of pickup trucks, we have a number of these pickups we're going to try sell. These are all in those 250, 275, approaching 300,000 miles. They all run. They, we've been using them for when we need to use an additional truck, but other than that, a lot of them are just being replaced by our newer vehicles, because these do involve a lot more repairs and maintenance to keep them running. So, same thing with the motor grader front lift groups. So, with that, I'd be open to any questions. I don't believe we need a recommendation or a motion, because since it's strictly advisory that we're going to be advertising this. We don't even know if these will sell.
Anybody have any questions for John? I don't see any. Sounds good. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you.
Next, you might as well stay up there, John, between you and Cody.
All right.
County Highway and Parks Shops, personal use policy.
You want to start? No, you go ahead. All right.
No fighting now.
Okay. We have our County Highway and Park Shops personal use policy. This is an amendment to the policy. The policy was originally approved in 2016, and I believe it was 2016. I'm not quite sure on the date, but anyway, the highlighted items are the things that have been revised as far as just the process, as far as using it, and the requirements of anyone who wants to use the shop and any of the materials and tools, and the fact that we have to have, it has to be an employee. We can't just let anyone use it. And only the authorized Morton County employees may use the tools, equipment, machinery, and the employees shall use care when using the facility, which I believe all of our employees do, and keep it clean and safe. And at the bottom, we're going to then present this to each of our employees and make sure that they have read it. And we'll have a whole group together, at least in the highway department, and we'll go through this at our morning briefings. They'll go through it, they'll read it, and then they'll be required to sign and date it. And this has been reviewed by the Road Commission, and the Road Commission was in agreement with all the revisions. And so from the highway department, this would be acceptable changes to this policy, and we would recommend approval.
And just to add to that, the Parks Board has also reviewed it and approved it. I like that there's the added signature line. It's just kind of an added out of liability for the county that they've read this policy and signed it, so that if something would happen in the shop after hours, they know the policy and have signed it. So I believe it takes some liability off of the county.
Commissioners, have any questions on what's before you?
Mr. Chair, I just got a question for tying in exactly what Cody had commented on as the signature line is the recommendation or is the consideration just putting this in the hands of each of the respective employees right off the get-go? That way you got a signature on file right away?
That is correct. Once they're approved and hired as a permanent employee, this is one of the items when they're onboarded that they'll be required to review, understand, and sign it, so that they have no way of saying that I didn't know about that or I didn't understand the policy. So.
I guess I don't know, John, will this be something in the signature packet we sign every year or just a one-time?
I can't answer that. I'm not sure on that. I believe as long as we have signed it, I don't, unless there's a change to it.
Right.
I guess
I would
that
think.
might be a state's attorney's question. I'm not sure, or HR.
I think it would just be the one time. It's no
Yeah.
different than the one-time employee handbook. The annual thing is just the safety training, which this
Right.
kind of does fall into safety, but
Right. And I would think if we change it or revise it in the
Yeah.
future, then we'd go through the process again. So.
Yep, I would support that.
Okay. Any other questions, or do we have a motion?
Mr. Chair, I motion that we approve policy number 700-003, county highway and park shops, personal use. As presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt policy 700-003, county highway and parks shops, personal use policy. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, thank you.
Auditor Roan, you're next on the agenda. Nothing from you? Next on the agenda then is our public comment as required by North Dakota Century Code 4404-20. So I will open our public comment period. And I don't have anybody online. So nobody in the room. Any public comment? Any public comment? Seeing none, I will close the public comment period. With that, does anybody have anything else good for the order?
City of Almont celebration this weekend, Almont Labor Days. Put it on the calendar. Friday,
No
Saturday,
thrash?
Sunday, Monday.
Didn't see any thrashing, though.
No, but there is golf darts. That'll be a challenge. Some of us can't even hit a boxcar 50 feet in front of us, so that'll be a challenge. But they do have a car show that has a division for, what is it, unfinished, which actually allows me to put my pickup in there.
You towing it through? It's a Ford.
I went, no, I don't have a carburetor on it yet.
Shoot, okay. Anything else? Seeing none, we are finished with our agenda, so I am
Motion
adjourning
to
the
adjourn.
meeting. It's been moved to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, we're adjourned.